those maps. I have the link, the reference, if you want to have them, if you want to see for yourself, as you can see there. Now, Medra Mendiant is also mentioned in the Bible. And you can see that in Exodus 2:15 and in Daniel 5:31. In Daniel 5:31 it says this, King James Bible, and Darius the Median took the kingdom, being about 62 years old. The Median. And then here in Exodus 2:15 as well, you're told that Moses went into that land when he fled, according to the current day Bibles, from Egypt. Correct? Now, that land, as you can see, and those kingdoms were in Africa. So it didn't stop. So from Genesis into the story of Moses, Exodus, and then you have Daniel as well. Those kingdoms are mentioned, those lands are mentioned, those names are mentioned, that you still see, that you still find in those ancient African maps. So it's still black people land. So those stories are about black people. Here another map showing the same thing. Medra. Now let's talk about Galilee. As many of you know, in the current day Bible, what they claim is the New Testament, when in fact what there will be a new and the old one. Did they change their mind? You know, was the Old Testament not good enough? Was it too full of contradiction and errors and mistakes? So they had to make a new one to put it up to date, you know, to make it current, to make it more like it, so the people are more agreeable to it, right? So the people that all right, we are back. Okay, Galilee. In Act 13:31, it says this. Act 13:31. Galilee means the circuit or district. He Galilee. And he was seen for many days by those who came up with him from Galilee to Jerusalem, who are his witnesses to the people. John 7:9. Having said this thing unto them, he stayed in Galilee. Now we're talking about the Christ. Luke 1:26. Now in the 6th month, an angel, I'm going to use what is written, meaning the current day Bible, Gabriel sent from God to a city of Galilee named Nazareth. John 7:41. Others said, "This is the Christ." But some said, "What? Does the Christ come out of Galilee?" 1 King 9:11. Now Hiram, the king of Tyre, had furnished Solomon with cedar trees and fir trees, and with gold according to all his desire. That then King Solomon gave Hiram 20 cities in the land of Galilee. And here you can see in the ancient African map, Galilee, it's mentioned. So that name, those locations, those land were in Africa. And here you have the proof. And here another map, because that's one map. And then here we have another map that confirm that fact here. And then here you have a third map that also confirms it. Here another one. As you can see. Now is referencing kingdoms, because many people would claim that no, Africa, they didn't have civilization, they didn't know, they didn't have kingdoms, and so on and so forth. Well, you have to learn history, you have to know the truth, you have to come out of the misconceptions that has been spread throughout the world, throughout generations. And you have to learn and know the truth. Now, here we have another land, another map, another place in Africa still. The land named Gaza. In Genesis 10:19 it says this: the border of Canaanites was from Sidon as you go toward Gerar to Gaza. So Gaza is mentioned in Genesis 10. And also in Act 8:26 it says this: but an angel, I'm going to use what it says in the current day Bibles. An angel of the Lord spoke to Philip, saying, arise and go towards the south to the way that goes down from Jerusalem to Gaza. From Jerusalem to Gaza. So from Jerusalem to Gaza, you go south. That means north of Gaza, up of Gaza is Jerusalem. This is a desert. Jude in Judge 1:18, Judah captured it, but did not hold it for long. For he found it in the hand of the Philistine in the days of Solomon. So, as well. So many Bible versions, passage, talk about the land of Gaza. And that land is in Africa, as you can see in the map. So now we're talking about the basics, about history, about the location, about the foundation. Because before we talk about what the spiritual things, heavenly things, we have to first understand and know where did it happen and who did it happen to, who were the people. Where, as you know, that's the one basic question. Where? In Africa? Who? Black people? Before we ask, now we can ask why. Or, and then when? When? Before the continental drift, after the continental drift, and how it happened to them, and what happened.